Hey there, it's Kimberly and welcome to my Flosstube episode number 5. Number 5, that means I've been pretty much doing this Flosstube thing for a full month now. It has been so much fun. I've been having a good time sharing all of my cross-stitch shenanigans as well as some of my quilting stuff, and then a few behind the scenes things or other things that I've been up to, a little bit of my cat's mischievous ways. He's staring at me right now, so I know he's just plotting his next vengeance. I don't know. He's something. I want to wish my US viewers a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a fun and safe holiday and it is full of yummy foods and family or friends, however you celebrate it. I'm in Canada, so we actually had our Thanksgiving at the beginning of October. So I feel like we're now kind of gearing up for Christmas. Besides the shelves behind me, I have not done any more Christmas decorating yet. I definitely need to get into that. I also haven't started my Christmas shopping yet, and I know a lot of you are probably done that already. I have a few ideas, but I need to just get going and do some shopping. So yeah. Lots to do and not a whole lot of time to get it done, unfortunately. Since my last video, we've gotten more snow. I did mention in that video that we were going to get a snowstorm that day into the Wednesday, and the weather people did not disappoint. Or maybe they did, I don't know. We got a bunch more snow, so now we have in the flat spots about 1.5 to 2 feet of snow, but there's drifts up to 4 to 5 feet tall already. So we went from a nice long fall and slammed right into winter, it feels like. 2 weekends ago, it was t-shirt weather, pretty much. While we were working outside, it felt like we could be in t-shirts. Today, it's minus 26 Celsius, which is about minus 15 Fahrenheit. It is cold. Not as cold as it can get here, but for November, it feels cold. So I'm not used to it. I do not love the cold at all. The snow is pretty, but I could leave the cold. All right, let's get into questions. I don't have any specific questions to read, but there was a few common things that popped up in the comments during this past week. One question that came up quite a bit was what this cross stitch was that was sitting behind me. So this is the Plaid House cross stitch. It is designed by Erin Elizabeth Designs. So I cross stitched this piece for myself personally, but Erin actually borrowed it. She took it and fully finished it for me and used it for a model. So I greatly appreciate her for doing that for me. She finished it so beautifully. Spice, the cat, has a special infatuation with this top piece and he will not leave it alone. He has ripped it off a couple of times already. He's driving me crazy. Unfortunately, he's chewed off a few pieces. Anyways, she did a great job of finishing it. I absolutely love this cross stitch piece and highly recommend it. It's just warm and cozy and will be perfect. I'll probably have it on display through Christmas as well as winter. I know I talked about this book last week and maybe even the week before, but I've been getting a few more questions about the Cross Stitch in the Forest book. This is authored by Max Pigeon from Pigeon Coop Designs. It's newly released in July, I believe. I think I got mine in August. And yeah, there's just a lot of people wondering if it's worth it. So I thought I would give you a quick flip through and my own personal review of the book. So not only is this book chock full of designs, but it also has some information for those who maybe are just beginning in cross stitching or just want to learn more about cross stitching. So there are supply recommendations, and then there is a section on how to cross stitch, which definitely could be beneficial for people, especially if someone new just picked this book up. They could have all the information they need to get started. And then we get into the projects There are 25 projects in the book, and they are kind of divided into chapters. So they are the Among the Pines, Into the Glade, and this is where the fox cross stitch that I did is in this chapter. Thriving Woodlands, I love this tree, and I love the blue jay. The Great North, my favorite in this one might be the bear. And the last chapter is Nighttime Wonders. So a few charts on black cloth. So do I think this book is worth it? I absolutely do. As a matter of fact, it is $22.99 US or $29.99 Canadian. So for 25 charts, that is an amazing price. If you like Pigeon Coop Designs' other charts, you will definitely like this book because it's chock full of really great ones. I think it is great for beginners and advanced stitchers alike. I love stitching his designs. I think they are beautiful, but they're also very easy for beginner stitchers to do. Okay, it is time to get into my whips for this past week. I pulled these out of my whip drawer to start because I wanted to get some more ornaments done for my tree that's yet to be set up. So these are the Chalkboard Ornaments Christmas Collection Part 1 from Hands On Design. I showed these in my top 10 beginner charts last week, and I had already finished the Be Merry one. And then I started this week the Believe one. I'm stitching these on 16 count black Aida, obviously it's black, chalkboard. I'm excited to get these all finished up and on my tree. I worked a little more on my Carolyn Manning design. It is called Please Be Home for Christmas. I'll pop a picture up because I do not have the cover sheet, but it is coming along slowly but surely. So this is what I've gotten done so far. I definitely will not have this done for Christmas this year. So we're looking like Christmas 25, 26, I'm thinking, which is totally fine. I've been enjoying stitching on it quite a bit. I did accidentally make a color mistake. Instead of stitching color 915, I stitched color 815, but I did way too much, so I am not pulling it out. We're just going with it. I figure there's enough different colors and things going on that no one, including myself, is even going to notice once it's finished. So we're just gonna keep trucking along. I've also been really enjoying stitching these holiday homestead ornaments from the Prairie Schooler. I have done the goose and the birdhouse, which is so cute. And this week I got a good start on the double Irish chain quilt pattern. I'm actually almost done that. So close to being done. So this past week I decided to challenge myself a little bit, and I got out some graph paper and started just doodling some designs just to play around and challenge myself a little bit creatively. So this little situation came from that. I didn't have intentions of stitching it. I just wanted to play around and see what I could come up with. And then when I did it, I was like, I need to stitch it. So it was a lot of fun to do. I'll actually show you. I'll show you my doodles. I even like charted the colors as I was stitching them. And then I was just doing some little like quilty designs and snowflake designs just to play around. I thought doing a few doodles would be fun just to stretch my creativity a little bit. And it was actually a lot of fun. I have another design done up when I was doodling these as well that I want to stitch up. So maybe I'll have that one done next week. I don't know. We'll see. And my last cross stitch whip for this week, I was working on my Log Cabin Christmas. This is the Little House Needlework series that I'm stitching as one big piece. So the first chart is called Log Cabin Squirrel. And this is my progress so far. You can see the cute little squirrel there and his wagon full of acorns. I absolutely love Little House Needleworks designs and their series they put out, and I enjoy stitching them all as one big piece. So I'm excited for this one to come together. I got to do some sewing this week, so I worked some more on my plaid blanket. This is a pattern called Layer Cake Lemonade. It's a free pattern from the Fat Quarter Shop. Another great beginner pattern. So even though this quilt was easier to put together, I learned a lot more from it, I think, or maybe learned what not to do. Specifically, I need to be more mindful when I'm sewing my rows on and making sure that they are oriented in the way that I want them to be. I also am not in love with my quilting that I'm doing on this one. I actually kind of wish I took this one to the quilter. So it's just, my machine is not set up. It is not a wide neck machine, so it's super hard. This quilt is not huge, but it is bigger, and I just found I was having trouble quilting it in straight lines. So I just have the binding left to do on this quilt and it'll be all finished. I also wanted to play around with a few harder blocks because I feel like I am burning through these quilts really quickly, and if I keep going at this pace, I'm going to be broke buying fabric because I can't stop. I need to always be making something. So I made this block, which I believe is from the Sister Choice quilt. That is also another free chart on the Fat Quarter Shop. And I just wanted to see if I could do it before I bought fabric to make a whole quilt. And it was a lot of fun. So I definitely think I'm going to go ahead and buy fabric and make this into a bigger quilt. I need to figure out what colors I want to do it in. These are just some scrap fabric that I had kicking around, but I actually really like how it came together. So this week I have a couple of finishes I want to share with you. The first one is something that I fully finished just yesterday. It is the classic Christmas chart from Hands On Design. I actually stitched this one probably last July, so July 23, during Christmas in July, and it's just been sitting around waiting for me to fully finish. So I finally did that yesterday. I absolutely love this chart. I actually stitched it on 25 count Dublin linen, which I have learned is not my favorite thing to stitch on. However, I do love the look of it. It does give a kind of rustic-y, vintage-y look to the cross stitch, so there's definitely some pluses to it. It's just, it drives me nuts when I stitch it. So I did a really simple finish on this one. I just layered it on a cute plaid fabric. I did a teeny tiny pink, you can see it up close, I did a teeny tiny pink rickrack on it. And my next finish is actually a previous finish, but I put it in this cute little frame, so it's kind of new. This is actually a free chart from Erin Elizabeth Designs. I believe, I should have checked this before, but I believe she has a spot on her website where she keeps her free designs, but if not, go check out her Facebook or Instagram accounts. You might have to scroll back a little ways. So last winter when I finished this, I just had it on the board, but I recently picked up this cute little frame. It's actually a picture frame and comes with the plastic, so it would just pop in there. But I thought it would be perfect to put a chart in there. But this is easily removable and I could switch charts out as I feel like it, and I think it's just really cute. My haul for this week is just quilting stuff, and I actually picked this up more than a week ago, but I forgot to share about it. So this will be my next quilting project, which isn't the block that I showed you before. I haven't actually fully decided what I'm gonna do with these. I had an idea, but I absolutely love this fabric collection so much that I feel like I want to do something more special with it. So we'll see. I haven't fully decided yet, but the collection is A Walk on the Prairie by Modern Prairie and Riley Blake. So I got 2 charm packs, or Riley Blake Designs just calls them 5-inch stackers. And then I got some polka dot cream. And then this is my absolute favorite design from this, the wheat on the cream background. Absolutely love that. We will see what I make with that. I've narrowed it down to about 3 things. Now I just need to pick one and start sewing. Okay, next up, I would like to share with you my cross stitch case. It is not pretty. It is definitely function over fashion here. But it does its job, and it has all of the things that I need to do any of my cross stitches in it. So I have a little bit of a sticker collection started up here. It's little. I obviously do not come across stickers very often. So I'm just gonna set it down, but as you can see, it's just a plastic case It closes so nothing will fall out of it when I'm carrying it around. First of all, this is typically sitting on my table, but when I go different places, I always bring with me some hand lotion. This was gifted to me from a friend, and it is just a goat milk lotion for my hands. And then I have my favorite hoop. I have used this hoop exclusively for probably 2 years of my 2.5-year cross-stitching journey. It is not any special brand, it's just a cute little neon green hoop. It is 6 inches and I love this size. It's easy for me to hold in my hand. I am a hoop stitcher. I love to be able to have some good tension on my fabric. I'm kind of picky. I want my stitches to look a certain way, and the only way I can really seem to do that is with a hoop. I did for a short stint stitch in hand, but I found my hands were getting tired too quickly and I couldn't stitch as much. So I went to this hoop and have never looked back. Next up is this magnetic board that is typically sitting on my stitching table, but whenever I pack up and go somewhere else to stitch, this comes with me and it fits in my case. My mom actually found this one on Amazon and I seen that she was using it and I said I needed one too. It comes with 3 magnets, so it can hold, 2 of them can hold your chart. One of them can be used to keep track of where you are on your chart, and it also comes with this little ruler, which has come in handy on more than one occasion. I highly recommend having one of these in your cross-stitch arsenal. Obviously, a good pair of sharp scissors is a must when you're cross-stitching. Again, I don't think these are any specific brand, but they are cool, like metallic-y color, and I just love them, and they get the job done, and they're still sharp after 2.5 years, as I accidentally cut my finger being careless using these the other day and it bled. It was bad. So they're still sharp. Speaking of which, I always keep band-aids in my cross-stitch case because you never know when you're gonna need them. I also keep a cloth to clean my glasses in my case because it never fails. I sit down to start cross-stitching and I realize my glasses are so dang dirty. We cannot forget about the needles. I do not use any special kind of needles. I use the good old DMC needles. They come in packs. I have the 28 and the 26 always in my case. I typically only use a 28. Every once in a while, I'll pull out the 26s if I need to. I also have some clips in here, thanks to my mom for keeping me stocked on clips. These work great for keeping your excess fabric out of the way while you're stitching. I typically roll the fabric up and then just clip this onto the hoop to keep that annoying extra fabric from getting in the way when you're pulling stitches. I also keep some extra bobbins in my case. These are just the plastic DMC bobbins. As of right now, I exclusively stitch with DMC flosses and I like to put them on these bobbins. And then along with that, I have a Sharpie marker so that I can write the numbers of the floss on the bobbins. This always stays in my case. And then I also have a pencil in my case as well. This comes in handy to keep notes, and recently has come in handy because I've been cross-stitching the Carolyn Manning design, and I've discovered that it's really easy to follow the chart when you shade out what you've already stitched. One of the things I love the most about my case is that it's big enough that I can just grab one of my whips, or probably, I'm sure I could fit a couple whips in here. I just throw them in there and close the lid, and I'm ready to go wherever I want to. Mostly though, I do cross stitch at my table here in my craft room. So while it's sitting on my desk, I actually just unpack my kit and put it in here. So I keep the floss in here all of the time, and the fabric, it can sit in here as well. So it's really handy. Everything's at my fingertips. So instead of having needles and different accessories in each of my whips, I keep them in here, and all I have to do is switch out each whip as I work on them. So I hope you enjoyed that little tour of my cross stitch case. I know it's not pretty, but it's definitely functional and works for me. I'm curious to know what you will put in your cross stitch case, or what you do put in your cross stitch case. If you have any must-have essential notions or accessories, anything like that, what do you have at your fingertips when you're cross stitching. All right, that's everything I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or want more information on anything that I shared with you today, please let me know and I will get an answer for you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel because I will be back next week with another video. Bye!